We said a moment ago, Stellar Capital Partners has acquired 16.4% in Cadiz. And the CEO of Stellar, Peter van Zyl, joins us on the line now. Peter, good evening to you. Why would you go in when Blackstar is getting out?
Evening, guys. I think, obviously can't speak for Blackstar themselves, but I don't think they were super keen sellers of their stake. I think the rationale behind us getting in was twofold, really. Management had bought a stake a few weeks ago, and we have a link to the empowerment partners of Cadizs because they're an empowerment partner in one of our investee companies. So we have a sort of a soft link to two of the investors, sizable investors in the business. And I think probably if I was to speculate as well from a Blackstar perspective, they're also very busy with a big acquisition of Times Media. So given that and our sort of convincing arguments with them, I think they decided that at the end of the day it probably was worth letting us partner with management, given our relationships with management and BE, than not.
Peter, of course, as you've mentioned a little while earlier, that we did see management buying a stake, and in essence, this also saw the founders being bought out. Does Cadizs become increasingly more attractive now that founder syndrome could have potentially been cut out of the equation?
Look, I think there's obviously been a lot of change at Cadizs over the last 6 months. I think that was sparked by Blackstar getting involved and making some changes to the cost base of the company. I think we've always been excited about financial services in general. I think the links both to management and to empowerment gave us an opportunity along with that, really gave us an opportunity to get involved. We think it's an exciting future. We know they've been through tough times, but I think Blackstar have made the changes. The family getting out of the business, I wouldn't want to comment on whether that's good or bad for the business, but obviously current management buying in, I think, is very good for the business.
Yeah, Peter, looking at the performance of Cadizs, as I said, used to be one of those companies that made good money. Looking back, total return on investment from 2010, it's been negative. If you put 1,000 Rand in 10 years ago, you'd now have 600. So in a way, you're taking over at a good time. It's a good place to start.
I think so. Look, the share price was languishing around the 80-cent mark in November when Blackstar got in, and we've got in at a higher price. We've got in at sort of current prices. So I think it is a good time to get in. If one looks at the net asset value, the tangible net asset value, those are both north of the price we're buying in at. And I think that means that although nothing's going to be a given, I think that gives us a very strong base to work from.
And just before we let you go, Peter, there has been speculation in the market that Stellar is trying to build itself and position itself as a financial services niche business. How much of this is true?
Look, Stellar's definitely a private equity business. It definitely has a view on financial services. We like financial services. We understand financial services. So certainly a financial services, growth in the financial services area is a given for us. When and where and how that happens is obviously depends on the opportunities that come along and the pricing of those opportunities.
Thanks very much to the CEO of Stellar with that acquisition there of Cadizs, Peter van Zyl.